Hi and welcome to the vlog. How are you all? Do I look as tired as I feel? Oh, I'm so tired.
I'm so tired too, Mummy.
You're tired too? Excuse me. Right. Let's start with the important piece of information. Elin is out of hospital as of yesterday, late afternoon. She's out of hospital. She's home. She's with her dad. She's very happy about all of this. Yes. Whew. Okay. All right. Cool. So things are going well. Things are going well for her. Yes. And now I can't even think. I have this, it's like I have a backlash. Once Elin's out of hospital, I get tired. Like while she's in hospital, I cope and I deal and I manage and I do and I function and I'm awake and I care and I'm medical mama and all of those things. And then she comes out of hospital and I'm like, oh. Do any of you experience this? I'm sure it can't just be me, right? It cannot just be me. I'm sure this is a bit of a phenomenon. Because what I think is happening is that obviously when Elin becomes so ill that I have to go into hospital, I'm on some kind of extra level of high alert because, you know, it is my responsibility and mine solely to make sure that she stays alive. But it is a bit like that kind of feeling, like I am, you know, I am ready to stand there and pump her heart for her and breathe for her and all of those things. Like I'm ready to do that and I'm there. and so when she is back home, that means she is safe. So she is safe and my brain goes, oh. And I'm wondering if that is a bit of a PTSD reaction, post-traumatic stress disorder, and actually comes from her birth. Now, I genuinely do believe that I do have PTSD from Elin's birth. It's not been officially diagnosed ever, and I'm not saying it as a kind of, you know, a bit like, oh, I feel so OCD today, I've checked that I've closed all the windows. Like, you know, OCD is a real condition. It's not something, you're not just a bit OCD today. And you get a lot of people, like when you talk about triggers, a trigger, the real definition of a trigger is a PTSD reaction, a post-traumatic stress disorder reaction, whereas we use it for something that makes us feel a bit upset. But no, I genuinely believe that I suffered such severe trauma at Elin's birth that I do have post-traumatic stress disorder from it. Alice's pregnancy was absolutely horrible because that was basically a full pregnancy of actual PTSD triggers. I did not feel well during that on so many levels. And so I think when Elin is ill, when my brain goes, child is in danger, your child is in danger, I kind of go into a like, I can almost will her to get well. Like I willed her to breathe when she was born, and I willed her to recover, and I willed her to survive, and all of those things. This became a lot more serious than I intended. I did not intend for this to get this deep, this quickly. I do apologize. I sincerely hope I'm not triggering any of you here. Shall we dial it back a bit? Sorry. Okay, anyway, so whenever Elin comes home from hospital, I am so shattered. And then we kind of have this pattern now, the girl's dad and I, that even when Elin is out of hospital, we still keep the girls separated for a few more days because Elin's care needs are still very high. It's not like she's actually well. It just means that she doesn't need to be on IV fluids. She doesn't need doctor intervention right now, but she definitely need mommy or daddy intervention. So she's with her dad, and that means that I have Alice. And Alice needs to be kept entertained and stimulated and played with and interacted with. So we have been swimming today, Alice and I, which was amazing. It was lovely. Alice has not been to a swimming pool since before COVID, so that's over 2 years ago. She obviously can't swim because She hasn't been to a swimming pool since she was 3. But I want to get her back into swimming, and she did really well. There's a learner pool in the leisure centre we went to, where even at the deepest end, the water goes up to her chin, so she always can have her feet on the floor of the pool. So she was super confident in there. She just kept sort of bopping away from me and doing little like doggy swimming motions and jumping on the floor, like little frog hops on the floor, and moving her arms. And she was hanging off the end and practicing leg strokes, and I had my hands under her torso and she was practicing both leg and arm strokes, and I could properly feel her moving her body forwards in the water when we did that. She did not want to put her head underwater. She did not want to put her head back in water, like floating on her back. She was not doing that whatsoever. But everything else, she was super confident, and I'm extremely proud of her today. I'm also knackered just from going swimming with her, like an hour in a pool. I've not done that in a long time either. But it felt so good to be in water. I really like swimming. And I have these wonderful memories of a child of going swimming with my parents. Yeah, I really do. I went swimming with both of my parents. My parents were divorced. They split when I was 8. And I lived with my dad for a bit. I lived with my mum for a bit. I lived with my dad for a bit. But all along there was always like a weekend pattern as well. So they didn't share the co-parenting as equally as Rob and I do, but they were still co-parenting all through my life growing up. So, but yeah, we went swimming loads with both of our parents, my brother and I, and it was fantastic. And I as I say, I just have really genuinely wonderful memories of it. And I don't remember learning to swim because I would have been very, very young when I learned to swim, because we were literally in water all the time. My mum used to be a competitive swimmer, yeah, so she would have taught us very young. And it's nice to do that with Alice now. I like have this wonderful, nostalgic, warm feeling that I can take my girl swimming. Yes. And then we've been home and I've been putting in a few hours studying, and Alice has done her homework and a bit of crafting and a bit of painting. So it's been a very nice and quiet and calm afternoon for us, and now it's evening and we are so tired. So we're probably... I'm sorry again. Probably actually just ready to turn the lights off and go to bed, to be honest. I did have a very good night's sleep last night, actually. But I still feel like I've got so much to catch up on. And I probably do. And I think Alice is still recovering from the very same kind of cold that landed Elin in hospital. I mean, this is bizarre, right? Elin had COVID in February, 1 night in hospital, and she didn't even need to be in for an entire night, but I literally couldn't take her home. And now she has a bit of a cold and she's in hospital for 4 nights. Like, seriously. This doesn't make any sense. It makes absolutely 0 sense. But there you have it. This is why I was so scared of Elin catching COVID, because like a normal cold lands her in hospital for almost a week. And I was terrified of what COVID might do to her. But she was all right, actually. You can go back and look at those logs if you want. And Alice obviously became the Duracell bunny on speed when she had COVID. That was exhausting. But yeah, I am tired and I am rambling and my cheeks are really hot. Look at that. They're so hot. Like, my cheeks are like super red at the moment. Yeah, and I want to get Alice to go to sleep, and I just want to sit here and do some journaling, write down some gratitude journaling, do some thought work, that kind of stuff. Do the mindset for me stuff tonight, and then have an early night, and then hopefully have a nice early morning and just function. So that's what I'm up to. I hope you are all staying well, and Yeah, so say, do share with me if you're a special needs parent and you're a frequent flyer in hospital. Do you have a similar thing to me of like just being so exhausted afterwards, like you're on high alert and you just function through it, and then once your baby is safe, you're like, oh. I'm sure it can't be just me, and I'm sure there's a very natural explanation for it. Anyway, have a beautiful evening. See you soon. Good night.